tunaongea kuhusu a very interesting topic.
Yes.
Hypertension. You know, I'm just curious to start off with what it is so that people can understand it. To dig deeper into all the details, wakuwe wanajua tunaongea kuhusu nini.
Yes.
Karibu.
Asante sana.
Yes.
So hypertension. Hyper means high.
High, yeah.
Yes. So hypertension, it's when the blood is flowing in a high speed or high blood pressure in your body.
Okay, so there is the actual speed and the normal speed that blood in a fire flow now.
Yes. So here we have that normal blood pressure, and okay, actually blood pressure, it's the force exerted in your blood vessels when the heart pumps your blood.
The force exerted in your blood vessels.
What
tunaona?
Yes. Specifically arteries.
Arteries.
Yeah, arteries carry the blood from the heart to other parts of the body.
Yeah.
So like there's an artery carrying my blood to this tip here, the finger.
Yes.
And the blood is supposed to supply all the nutrients, the oxygen, the food you eat. Because the cell at the farthest end, we require that food. It will require oxygen. It will require so many items. So it's supposed to be supplied by the blood. So the heart has to pump that blood. So, and for that blood to flow, definitely it has to exert some pressure on the arteries. Arteries carry the blood to the to parts of the body.
So pressure is good, but sasa kuna yenye ni too much pressure.
When it's too much, we say it's high blood pressure. We also define it as hypertension. So that is the definition for high blood pressure. And another definition for blood pressure. Yes.
And so in such instances, when there's the incident umesema wakati it's too much, enough flow venye high-fi. So could we just get to know nini na cause?
What causes that?
Yes.
So the causes for the blood pressure, the high blood pressure, number one, it can be from the source, the heart now. Maybe the heart is exerting a lot of pressure on a lot of force to the blood. So that can be the issue of the heart. Another issue can be the issue of the way, the pathways, the arteries. Maybe the arteries have hardened. So sometimes they harden off. The arteries.
What causes the hardening?
It can be because of the bad cholesterol. There are several types of cholesterol. So we have a good one, a good cholesterol that's supposed to be in the body, and the bad cholesterol that's not supposed to be in the body. So when for just as an explanation, a bad cholesterol is that cholesterol that cholesterol means fats. Any fat that solidify very fast or at a high temperature, it will go into the body. Our normal temperature in the body, it's around 36, 37. So any fats that will solidify at that temperature, it will get into the vessel and solidify there. So this is your artery. It's hollow and it's supposed to be broad for the blood to flow well. So when we have some obstacle there, maybe the plaque, solidifying of the fats inside that artery, so the arteries are going to narrow down. And in physics we say when you reduce the diameter of a certain pipe, the pressure automatically goes up. So that can be the cause. So it can be part of the heart, all the pathways, the arteries where the blood is flowing. Yes.
So there is that, the arteries and the heart, those two are the main causes.
Are the main causes, although we still, so under the artery they can either harden off or sometime you find a plague. They harden off, that is, they're supposed to be flexible. So when the blood is pumped, remember the body is not a straight, so economic corner. So sometimes this artery might harden off a bit. So instead of the blood flowing well, so we are going to have some those corners. It will be hard for the blood to
Okay, so if
to maneuver.
It is hardened, it is an issue.
It's an issue.
Okay.
Another thing is the blood vessel can be narrowed down by those bad cholesterol we have talked about. And then it's also the issue of maybe the hormones in the body. So every time when you have stress, yes, there are some stress hormones that are produced by the body. When for the pregnant women, there is a change of hormones. That can also attribute to the pressure going up. Yes.
Okay. So coming to, allow me to take you back kidogo, ya issue ya hardening. Umetuambia ya nini, ya arteries zikiwa the diameter imekuwa reduced kwa sababu ya fat.
Yes.
Na kuna ile yenye imekuwa hardened.
Yes.
So what causes that hardening of the arteries and all that?
Sometime when we have accumulation of these fats, the plague, the fat will form a very hard plague inside the artery. So that plague become hard as time goes by. So that can be one. Number two, it can be associated with the aging. So sometimes people age and their vessel will automatically start hardening off. Although that one is also preventable a bit by some exercises. We're going to talk about how the ways how we are supposed to prevent this hypertension. So those are some of the ways we are going to discuss on how maybe a person is supposed to exercise, eat healthy, just to make sure that the vessel remain we don't harden off, and also we don't have those cholesterol in the body.
Okay.
Yes.
And also in the umesema it can be the old people can be affected. The elderly.
The elderly.
Sorry.
Yes.
The elderly people can be affected.
Although it's
but
not really about the elderly. So in some research they say anybody above the age of 45, the vessel might start hardening off as time goes. So it's not even about elderly. Although other research says from 55. So it's not a specific age, but I'll say as time goes by, as somebody ages, the blood vessel might start hardening off. So for the hardening of those young people, it's usually caused by the accumulation of that plague, the bad cholesterol in the body, and the fatty plague inside the vessel. Yes.
So from as low as what you mentioned 45, kunaweza kuwa na lesser ama from 45? Okay.
Kunaweza kuwa na lesser depending on maybe the level of activity, maybe the family history, your lifestyle.
Yeah, family history is affected.
Yes, it affects.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to be on the lookout.
Yeah, anybody who comes from a family where there are people with high blood pressure, we need to be on lookout. Just to make sure that maybe we don't live a lifestyle that will predispose them to hypertension at a very early age.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are some of those signs? Mtu atajua aje kuna niko na high blood pressure ama hypertension.
Okay.
Ndio mtu aende treatment, na uzuri wa kwenda treatment mapema pia ama checking mapema ni aje na ni advantage gani? So tuanze na signs and symptoms. Yes.
So we usually say hypertension, it's a very silent disease. We call it a silent killer. There are people who will never know they had blood pressure until that day when they're very sick and the pressure is too high. So that is it. So we usually say, okay, there are some signs and symptoms, although they usually appear or they usually come when the pressure is much, much higher. Yes. Okay. So I usually advise people, blood pressure, we check it for free in most health facility. It can also be checked on chemist or pharmacy. So we usually advise once after every 6 months, you just go and have your blood pressure checked. Yes, because it's silent. But just in case you have these symptoms, okay, there are some symptoms, but this symptom will come later when the blood pressure is a bit much higher.
Okay.
So number one, somebody might have some headache. Number two, visual problems. You are not seeing clearly. You feel extremely tired, anxiety. So those are some of the signs. maybe somebody is sweating, especially at night, excessive sweating. Yes. But those signs are a bit, I'll not say that you rely on those symptoms. Just be checking once every month, every 6 months. Or as soon as often as possible, because see, it's not something we charge. Go to any facility, government facility or private facility, and tell them to check your blood pressure, and then tell them to ask them if at all it's normal or not. Yeah, that is the best way. Yes.
So maybe you've got you've gone and you've been checked.
Yes.
Unaambiwa hapa kuna risk. So what identify aje?
So blood pressure, it's usually checked. Okay, we have two blood pressure. Let me say that, or it's usually recorded in two ways. We have the upper part of the top number and the bottom number.
Okay.
It's usually like that. The top number, we usually call it systolic blood pressure.
Okay.
Systolic means when your heart pumps the blood, or when your heart contracts, or when your heart beats. Definitely the pressure keeps changing. The heart will beat, pressure will go up, then it will relax, the pressure might reduce, it will definitely reduce. So for the systolic, on the upper part, we usually say the normal blood pressure is supposed to be 120 and below.
120 and below.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the normal. For the systolic, when the heart contracts. And then the lower number, it is when the heart relaxes or between the heartbeats. It's supposed to go down. So the normal one, the diastolic, the bottom number is supposed to be below 80.
Below 80.
Yes.
Okay.
So we check this. If your blood pressure, the upper one is below 120, and the bottom it's below 80, your blood pressure is okay. Higher. If the systolic blood pressure is between 120 and 140, in between there, we don't yet classify you as having high blood pressure. We say you are pre-hypertensive.
Okay,
meaning you are at risk of getting hypertension. Yes, pre-hypertension. From 120 to 140. The systolic, the top number. The lower number, between 80 and 90, it's still, we consider it normal, but we classify it as pre-hypertensive. So at that specific age, we will counsel you on how you are supposed to live the good lifestyle in order to go back to the normal blood pressure. But sometime, this blood pressure also comes differ from one race to another. So like for the black people, they say mostly will be there between 120 and 140 due to our physiology. So I'll say this from now, because we come from Africa, let us classify high blood pressure as or normal blood pressure as from 140 and below, the top number, and the bottom number 90 and below. So you have a good blood pressure. But always consider these the normal one, which we said is supposed to be 120 and 80 at the bottom. So if you are there, you need to visit a facility. We advise you on how we can make sure that you go back to that normal.
Yes. That is below.
Yes, below 120.
Yes, and 80 as well.
And 80 as well.
Okay.
So in simple terms, we will classify somebody as having high blood pressure if your blood pressure, the systolic here ya juu, it's above 140, or here chini it's above 90, or both are above that ranges. If like the upper one is above 140 and the lower one is okay, you still hypertension. If the bottom one is above 90, and the top one is below 140, we'll say you are hypertensive. If both are, you're still hypertensive. Huh?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So nimeenda nimechekiwa. So comes to now the medication, and because we'll talk about the prevention after we've taken the break. But sasa hapa kwa treatment of it, is it curable? Tuanze hapo.
Okay, I'll say it depends.
It depends.
Depends. Like if at all the reason, okay, there are, let me, before we even discuss that, we have two types of blood pressure or high blood pressure or hypertension. We have a primary hypertension and the secondary hypertension. The primary hypertension, it's a hypertension or high blood pressure that we cannot relate to a specific cause. As in, we are going to say you didn't have another condition before that predisposed you to hypertension. So it is primary. Hauna ugonjwa ingine
yenye imekuletea hypertension.
So that one it will be a bit harder to resolve itself. But we have a secondary hypertension. Maybe somebody was pregnant and due to hormone changes during pregnancy, the person got hypertension. After delivery, there's a very high likelihood that this blood pressure might come back to normal because it was triggered by the hormones. If somebody had some condition like kidney failure, it will cause the blood pressure to go high. So if at all we have something and the kidney comes back to normal, as in start working, this hypertension which was caused by this kidney not working well will resolve itself. So under that one we're going to say this, just for the simplest way is to say go to the facility. We are not going to say it's curable or not. Let's go to the facility and have it monitored there, and you'll be advised on the right way to go about it and manage it.
And manage it.
Yeah.
Key thing is management.
Because
if you find yourself in that station, it's not a death sentence.
It's not a death sentence. Actually, I always say high blood pressure is a very simple condition to manage. As long as you know you have it, it's simple. Very simple to manage. And I always say this, when you manage it and you go to a facility you are told it's normal today, doesn't mean that you have recovered fully. Still remember, the medication you are taking has brought this pressure back to normal standards. So you have to take this medication for this blood pressure to remain normal. If you default on medication, the blood pressure will go up again.
So if you find yourself umeambiwa unajua uko na high blood pressure, so you should prepare yourself for medication throughout the rest of your life.
You'll be advised, if at all you'll be on medication. There are several ways to manage it. You can also be told you'll be on diet, specific diet. You can also be told now avoid stress and let's see. So it's not something that has a conclusive way of management.
So we take a break on that, but when we come back we need to know how can we manage those people who have, because we have those people around us, so how do we get to help them manage it, and also how do you prevent it usijipate mahali kama hapo. We take a break, but remember, this is Mizpah TV, this is Nuru ya Asubuhi, and we are coming back with more. Remember, this is Family and Health Thursday. See you after the break.